Good afternoon, friends, and welcome back to the channel. If you've never entertained the idea of buying a mobile home or a manufactured home, and you're looking for more affordable housing, make sure you watch this entire video as we're going to go over the exact costs of buying a mobile home or a manufactured home. I think this is going to provide a ton of insight for folks who are new to this type of industry and are new to hearing about this type of home. Now, I was originally going to shoot this video in our office in a nice cozy setting, but I figured, it's a beautiful day. If you're up north and you're thinking about purchasing a mobile home or a manufactured home, then perhaps the palm trees, the sunglasses, and the beautiful weather that we have out here today will make you entertain the idea that much more. Now, there's a lot of misinformation. A lot of misinformation out there as far as what do these homes cost, what exactly are you buying when you buy one, et cetera, et cetera. And that's what our goal here today is, to go through that piece by piece, line by line, give you a pretty backdrop behind me while we talk about this and have a good time learning together. Now, if you're new to the channel, folks, my name is Mark. I'm the lead broker for the Mobile Home Dealer. We have a ton of fun on this channel, showcasing some of the best homes in the area, some of the most beautiful areas that we see on a daily basis, and the best educational content that we possibly can come up with here on the interwebs. So if you are new to the channel, do us a huge favor. Don't be like the 97% of people who watch our videos and don't subscribe. Hit that subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. That way you're up to speed with everything that we're doing here at the Mobile Home Dealer, coming on our journey as we grow together. So with that being said, welcome, welcome, welcome. And let's go ahead and jump in. Number one, to basically the need. The need for affordable housing has never been larger. We've never seen rising rents like this. Interest rates are high. In a lot of parts of the country, housing continues, single-family homes continue to be high. So we've got to be able to find a place for affordable housing for people to be able to purchase. Now, when we're talking about this, we've got to first have proper expectations. Okay, I'm going to go through every single thing in this video, line by line, to make sure you got a better idea of exactly what you're looking at when you're buying a home. But you first have to have proper expectations. Okay, some people are going to want to buy a single family home. We're going to talk about that. Some people are going to buy mobile homes. We're going to talk about that. Some people are going to want to buy homes in parks or homes on land, and we're going to talk about that. But anytime you buy something, you've got to have the proper expectations of it. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, if you're buying a $10,000 house, you're not buying a car. You're buying a $10,000 house. There may be some TLC to it. If you're buying a home with lot rent, you're going to be paying a monthly fee, hence lot rent. If you're buying a house with an HOA in a park, you're going to be paying an HOA. And if you're buying a home on private land, you, my friend, are going to be responsible for all of the maintenance. So again, proper expectations is a huge thing on our channel, and that's what we're going to stress here today. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the original style of home as I switch around my tripod. The original style of home that everybody's familiar with, okay? Stick and brick homes, okay? The average price of a stick and brick home at the time of this recording is $510,000. $510,000 is your average price of your new stick and brick home. Now, for every price that we're talking about here today, we're going to be talking about new homes, not pre-existing, new homes, okay? So your average new home in the United States right now, $510,000. Now, at the time of this recording, those homes obviously take on traditional mortgages, and your average traditional mortgage for 30 years right now is at a 7% interest rate. Okay, so 7% interest rate, $510,000 for a single family home. Now, for the folks who are watching this, if that's affordable for you, fantastic. That's probably where you're looking to shop. If it's not, or if you're looking for more affordable options, make sure you watch the entire video as we're going to discuss all the other options coming along. Now, the next one is going to be buying a manufactured home, brand new off the showroom floor, all the bells, all the whistles, and then putting it on private land. Okay, so let's say you have some acreage out in the country. Let's say you want to go and do that, and you would just want to have a brand new house. Now, the average price of a brand new manufactured home at the time of this recording is $125,000. Okay, $125,000 is the average price of a brand new home. So if you're looking at $125,000, you also have to buy the land. Okay, now when you buy the land, guys, there's a lot of hidden fees that you got to understand with this. And I see this get popped up in the comments all the time. Well, I'll just buy the house and I'll put it on my own land and everything's going to be great. Yeah, that's right. But you got to make sure that you're setting the money aside for different things. Okay, such as transportation to get the house to your land. The big price is going to be if you're going to have to put a well and a septic on it. Okay, well and septics right now, I know this because I just did this one on a property that the company owns, costs about $35,000. Okay, so well and septic is a very pricey item. The transportation, you have to get skirting on it. You have to get permits for it. You have to get it leveled. What about the AC unit? Okay, if you don't have well and septic, are you gonna be able to tie in through city services? What's your tie-in fee? Okay, so there's a lot of things that are coming up into play when you're looking at this. It's not just buy the home and put it on land and everything's great. No, there's a lot more fees that are associated with that. Now, when you buy the land, that's going to be actual land that you're going to have to pay property tax on. Okay, so now you got property taxes, you got closing fees, you have agent fees. Okay, there's a lot of different fees that you're going to have to go and put on, and it's not just buying a house and putting it on land. Okay, that's not the easiest part. Okay, it's all the additional fees that go along with it. All right, so when we're looking at that, you're looking about an average about $200,000. Okay, and I can tell you that because again, our firm does that as well. So I can tell you that it's about 200 grand to get started with that. Okay, so now $200,000 for a brand new home compared to 510, that's a smoking deal if you ask me, right? So a smoking deal, but it's still not not child's play when you're talking about homes. The next one is going and buying a brand new manufactured home and then putting it in a park where you own the land. Okay, so a land owned park, which is very common all throughout the South, all throughout the country. In fact, that's actually the most common manufactured home park there is in the country, is where you buy the house and you own a share of the land. Okay, so in that situation, a brand new home, again, $125,000. Your big savings here, though, is you don't have to worry about developing the land like you would if you had your own land, okay? Because you're putting it in a park. So you're not gonna have to worry about the tie-ins, okay, for the water and the electric. They're all gonna be city services, or if they are well septic, they're already gonna be ready to go. So you're not gonna have to pay 30, 40 grand to put a well and septic in. All right, so that's definitely a huge savings. You will still, however, have to buy the share of the land, okay, the share of the park. Okay. At the time of this recording, the average share price in the United States is about $65,000. Okay, so you don't have to develop the land, but you got $65,000 on the purchase of the land. Okay, so again, $125 for the house, about $65 for the share of the land, and then each month you still have the HOA. Okay, because you're living in a community. Okay, so the HOA is going to cover things like the pool maintenance, maybe the dog park. Every once in a while, it's going to cover like, you know, some social functions, that type of thing. But again, $125 on that, about $60 on the purchase of the home, about $65 then on the share price. Okay, so you're looking, what is that, about $190, and then you have a monthly HOA. Something to think about. Okay, so we got 510, we got 200, and then we got about 190. Okay, so the next option that you can look at is purchasing a home where you buy the home and you pay lot rent. Okay, well now what's that look like? Well, we're going to go right back to the 125 on the brand new house. So I have 125 on the house. Okay, all right, and then we switch it over and we say, all right, well, what is the price of the land? Well, there is no price because you are leasing the land directly from the park. Now you're going to be paying lot rent each month. Now the average lot rent in the United States is about $650 a month. Okay, about $650 a month. What are you getting for that? Well, that's where a lot of people stop. They stop, and I don't think that's correct. They stop and say, well, I don't want to pay $650 a month. Well, again, it's proper expectations. Like I talked about at the beginning of the video. Well, what are you getting for the $650? It's not just sitting there and saying, oh, I'm not going to, do this for $650. No, what are you getting? And that's what I challenge all the listeners and all the viewers to really think about. It's not just I have to own the house with land or I have to pay lot rent. It's what am I getting for it? Just take a step back and say, what am I getting for it? Well, in most parks, you're usually getting a handful of different things included in that $650. They're going to mow your grass, your water bill, your sewer bill, your trash bill is going to be included. You got usage of the amenities like the pool, the dog park, all that kind of stuff. If they put up holiday lights, you're not paying for it, they are, that type of thing. It also covers the property taxes because you're not going to be paying property taxes when you don't own the land. Okay. Now in that situation, you're paying $125 on the front end. Okay, like we discussed for the new home, and you're paying about $650 a month on lot rent. All right, so it's going to be by far your lowest price item to get involved in. Now here's the thing, guys. When you go and you buy that 125 house, you still have to pay for the transport. You got to pay for the AC. You have to pay for it to be skirted. Okay, you have to pay for it to get permitted. Everything else. So you're not totally out of the bag at 125. No. But again, in that situation, you're not worried about clearing out land. You're not worried about clearing out to get a well and septic. Again, because the park's going to have that. Okay, so that's going to be huge savings. Now, the other thing when you look at this, guys, you've got to be very conscious of the pros and cons of each one of these. Okay, there are pros and cons to each one of them, and I'm not going to say that I'm impartial to either option. Okay, what I am a fan of is affordable housing, because I believe that's what we especially need just as a country as a whole. We need more affordable housing. But I'm not going to sit there and say that one is better than the other. But when you're buying a home and you're putting it back on your own private land, remember, that's going to be the most expensive part. The pro is you're probably going to get a little bit more property appreciation, a little bit more value to it. Traditionally speaking, real estate, which is what that is going to usually appreciate about 5% per year. Okay, so you're going to be making, if you will, about 5% per year on that, because it is real estate. Okay, that's going to be the property appreciation for folks who are not very familiar with that. If you buy your house for $200,000, okay, and you sell it a year later, you should be able to sell it for about 5% more, or about $210,000. You can run the math from there as far as how many years you think about owning it, you know, how that's going to work. Okay, so that's going to be your pro. Okay, your other pro is that you're going to have more space. And we see a lot of times places with acreage, 2-3 acres, and they have one home on it. So it's going to be very comparable to that of a single family home. Again, it's going to be about 60% cheaper. The con, though, is, you're going to be taking care of everything. Okay, so you're going to be taking care of mowing the grass. If you're up north, you're going to be shoveling snow. You have to make sure that you're paying property taxes. If you have a mortgage on it, then depending what state you're in, they may have different types of insurance that you're going to be required to have. Okay, so that's another budgetary item. So the bad thing is you're going to be responsible for everything. The good thing is you're probably going to see a little bit more property appreciation. Now, if you're buying in a park where you're buying it and you own the land, okay, but you're buying it in a park, okay, well, in that situation, then the pro is that you're going to have a little bit more of a ownership, okay, and then by having an ownership because you own the land or you own a share, in that situation, it's going to open it up to traditional financing, okay, so FHA, VA, 30-year mortgage, that kind of stuff, you can usually open it up for traditional financing. Bad thing, or it's a good thing, depending on how you look at this. You're also going to be having an HOA payment. HOAs are going to have different rules, different laws, different do's and don'ts. The HOA is going to go up every year, just like the cost of gasoline or a pair of sneakers. As much as I hate to say it, it's going to go up, okay? So that's with an HOA. You're also going to have a little bit less space, obviously, than living out in the country. Again, you're living in a park. There's only so much space that you can get in there, right? Makes sense? So pro and con with that, all right? If you buy the house and you put it on land that's leased, okay, the land that leased, pro and con. The pro, obviously, it's by far the cheapest option to get started. If we're looking at a brand new house, $125,000, no money for the lot, but then you're paying your lot rent. The lot rent is going to be a pro or a con, depending on how you look at it. I see it as both. It's essentially a condo association fee, folks, okay, because you're getting your water bill, your sewer bill taken care of. They're taking care of the pool. They're mowing your grass, et cetera, et cetera. Now, again, I understand people are going to say, well, I can do that myself. Hey, that's fine. You're paying for convenience. That's the thing you have to remember with lot rent. You're paying for convenience. The other thing is that when you're buying a home in a park with lot rent, it's going to be a personal property transaction. Okay, what does that mean? Well, that means that it's going to have a title with it, and it's not going to have a deed because you don't own the land, so you're not going to get a deed. The pro with that is you can get in, get out of the house very quickly. If life changes, which unfortunately we all know sometimes it does very quickly, sometimes it's not always the best change, then you can go in and you can sell the house very quickly because it's just like selling a car. You don't have to get involved with this or that, okay, that you would with a single family home. The bad thing is a lot of times mortgages are going to be harder to obtain in that situation. Now, there are companies that do offer mortgages for those. A lot of times people don't believe that, but it's true. There are several companies out there that pay and have mortgages, okay, that you can take on if you own the property and you don't own the land. The pro of that is there are mortgages. The con to that is it's going to be prime, which is 7% at the time of this recording, plus usually about 5%. So you're going to be staring down the barrel of about a 12% loan. That's true. So that may be a good or a bad thing. Good because you can have a mortgage for it. Bad because you're paying a little bit more than prime. So pro and con when you're looking at this, and when you're buying a manufactured home or a mobile home, you've got to totally understand the exact prices. Whether you're buying a house and it's a single family at $510, you're buying a house, a manufactured home, and you're putting it on your own land, you're around $200. Or if you're buying a house in a park, you're looking about $190, or a house on lot rent, you're looking about $125. Okay, so you've really got to be conscious of exactly what is out there, have proper expectations, know what you're paying for, Know what you're not paying for. Know what you're getting and what you're not getting so that you and your family can make the best possible decision in order to get the best home for you guys. Now, with that being said, I hope that helps give you a better idea. I'm not pro or con either one of them. I think the need for affordable housing is higher now than it ever has been. I don't think owning a single family home is necessarily right for everybody. I don't think owning a house in a park where you pay lot rent is right for everybody either. However, I do feel like owning a home and having affordable home ownership is exactly what we all need. So with that being said, folks, thank you so much for coming on this educational walk with me. I hope it's warmed you up if you're up north, and I hope it gave you something to think about later on tonight at the dinner table. My name is Mark. You've been with the mobile home dealer. And as always, folks, we'll see y'all on the next one.